Hello everyone and welcome back to Direwolf 20's mod spotlight of equivalent exchange. This is part 2, and today I'm going to go over some of the things that I missed in part 1, as well as some of the other cool items that you can make. So first off, I need to cover something that I completely forgot to touch on the last episode, and that's the condenser and the collector can work together. So let's break some of these guys off here and grab our condenser. And I'll grab my collector as well. So if I place down, whoops, wrong block. So if I place down my condenser and place a piece of cobblestone in it, it's obviously not going to do much because it needs some fuel, as we mentioned in a prior episode. However, if I place a collector right next to it, it's going to help fuel it along just a little bit. So this, you don't need to put the fuel in the bottom slot. Of course, fuel is much quicker and much more efficient, but placing one collector next to it helps. However, you can also place more collectors. You can place a total of 4 on the 4 horizontal sides, just like an antimatter relay. And you can see this guy moving along, taking its sweet time. And he will slowly upgrade from cobble all the way up to dark matter. But as you can see, this is going to take a very, very long time, because it's much slower than standard amounts of fuel were. And even with standard fuel, it takes a long time to get to the diamond stage and beyond. There's a couple things to note here. First off, we can place energy, an item that creates energy, fuel, in the bottom slot here, and you'll see the flames turn on, but it's not actually using energy until you place an item in the slot, and then it's working away and doing its best to upgrade that item. And you might have seen how quickly it moved to gold, and you're probably wondering to yourself, why did that happen? Well, let me explain. When you place an item in the slot, and it makes a partial amount of progress on that item, it's going to go ahead and store the energy that it's already used in the condenser. So if you take an item out of the slot, the energy is not wasted. So for example, let's say we placed an iron bar in here and made a good amount of progress towards getting to the gold stage. And let's give this a moment to get close to gold. Alright, I think that's close enough to the gold stage now. I'm going to take this iron bar out. Now if I were to place this iron bar right back in, the progress bar would be where it was at. But if I place a piece of cobblestone in, or a stack for example, a good amount of these will automatically convert to iron, because the energy that was used to convert this iron almost to gold is still stored in the condenser. See how quickly we got 2 iron, and now it's picking up where it was before, and it's moving along. So again, you do not waste or lose energy in condensers. Another thing that I forgot to mention was that with the transmutation table, when you place an item in here and it records the EMC value, and you take another item out, say obsidian for example, you can now close the transmutation table and go do whatever you want and come back at a later time, and you still have that 192 energy sitting here. And you can add another item, for example. Well, you can't add redstone. Can't use that either. Maybe a torch. Yeah, sure, why not? And you can add items back in, take a piece out, and then come back later and use it again. So if you close your transmutation table while you're transmuting, you do not lose the EMC that you've accumulated so far. Alright guys, so like I said the other day, on episode 1, the only way to get dark matter is to take some dark matter blocks and stick them in your condenser. And as you can see, without any antimatter relays on the side of this guy, it's going to take a good amount of time for this dark matter block to condense down to dark matter. A good amount of time. But also, as you recall, you can use antimatter relays to speed up the condenser. And if you remember from my first episode, antimatter relays speed this process up by a rate of 10x for each antimatter relay nearby. So let's go ahead and put something worth a lot of energy in this block. About dark matter. Why not? Now this guy is moving along a lot quicker, simply because the energy from your relays is being dumped straight into the condenser and moving it along. So that gave us our first piece of dark matter. Dark matter is used to make all the cool toys that you can make in this mod. How about I show you a couple of them now? So first off, you should know you can use dark matter to make every standard tool. You need dark matter and diamonds, and in this shape, just like with a normal pickaxe, you can get a dark matter pickaxe. This guy is very cool. Let's head over to this cave here and see what we can't figure out. So first off, the dark matter pickaxe can pick and mine things much quicker than your standard pickaxe, much quicker than even a diamond one would. Secondly, you can press V to charge up your pickaxe, and if you find an ore vein, you can right click on one of the ores, and it will automatically harvest all the ore in that vein. Non-vanilla mods, unfortunately, ores do not work with this function, but it still mines them awfully quick. So your standard coal, diamond, iron, gold, that will all be mined much quicker once you have this dark matter pickaxe. Another awesome function of it is you can press G to change tool mode. So standard pickaxe mode is like you're used to with a normal pickaxe. However, press G and it toggles the DM tool to 3x tall shot. Mine a block, and it automatically mines the block above and below that block. Look how much quicker we can move. Of course, the pickaxe does not work on dirt or gravel. Press G again to go into 3-shot wide, exactly like you would expect. And finally, you can press G one more time to go into 3-shot long, and guess what this does? It mines 3 blocks deep, all in one shot. Pretty cool. A very awesome and powerful tool, and definitely going to help you out. Once again, here's a vein of coal. I don't have any coal in my inventory. With the dark matter picks charged up, right click, and all the coal is sucked into your inventory. I just got 16 pieces of coal from that vein. And it looks like there was another piece of coal hiding down here. So that's awesome. I'm up to 18 pieces of coal now. So pretty much you can mine an entire vein of ore with a right click as long as the tool is charged. So why don't we open up a crafting table using our Philosopher's Stone. I don't have to run all the way back to my crafting table there, and make the next item. This is the dark matter shovel. Again, the dark matter shovel is a lot quicker at breaking up stuff than a standard shovel. And you can also change tool mode with this guy. So you've got your standard tool mode, which breaks 1 block. 3 tall, breaks 3 blocks, 1 above and 1 below your target. 3 wide, and 3 long. Of course, this only works on dirt, gravel, and the standard things that shovels work on. You're not going to break a piece of stone by doing 3 long. Very cool. You can also charge it up with V, up to a max of 4, and just like with prior versions of Coil and Exchange, you can right-click on a block, and it will automatically harvest a bunch of blocks nearby of dirt or gravel, and keep that area flattened out. So if we only do, let's say, 1 charge, you're going to get a 3x3 area. And the maximum charge level will clean up much more. And it's just going to flatten out the land for you. And you can just keep running along and flatten everything out. It's a great way to make a flat plane. And that is the dark matter shovel. The next tool on our list is the dark matter hoe. This one's pretty simple and straightforward. Right click once charged, and you can see there are several charge levels. Let's go with the first one. tills a big wide area for you. Charge it up even more, and it tills a much larger area for you. So a great way, and you can see the blocks are already quickly reverting back to normal dirt. That's because there's no water here. You're going to want to run your water line before you till, obviously. But this is a great way to quickly till the land. And that's pretty much the dark matter hoe. Simple, straightforward, but awesome. Next, let's take a look at the dark matter sword. Just a more powerful version of the original sword. However, you can charge it up with V, and activate with the R key to do an area of effect attack that will affect up to 4 enemies nearby. Actually, it might affect all enemies nearby. Okay, the next tool to check out is the Dark Matter Axe. This guy is awesome and will basically let you deforest an entire area in one swing. First off, if you want to use it as a normal axe on wood, it's very quick and efficient. But of course you can charge it up. It's got several levels of charge, but let's just check out the highest level. Sweet. Yeah. Tons of wood just dropped all onto me, and I got all that I need. So the Dark Matter Axe is a quick way to collect wood and clear out an entire forest all in one shot. Next, we've got the Dark Matter Shears. These guys are also pretty cool. First off, they clip this stuff just like normal shears and do a pretty good job of it, and you collect all the leaf blocks that come up from it. You can also charge it up and right-click to collect large areas of leaf blocks. And you can see I practically lagged my game just by doing that. And it'll knock all the leaf blocks off the trees for you. Very cool. You can also, if you charge up your shears, use it on a sheep with left click. And you'll get a lot more wool than you might have normally. There's also a random chance to clone the sheep and get a new one. So you can see another sheep was just cloned. It's about 1 in 3 when you have it charged all the way up. Finally, we've got the Dark Matter Hammer, which is made like so. This guy's also a lot of fun. First off, he only works on stone. Not so good on any other items, like dirt. And you can charge him up with V, as usual, and right-click, and it'll clear out an area of stone very high up. And as you can see, it only works on stone. So a significant amount of height that you can clear with your stone by just right-clicking on the bottom, and it'll basically clear all the stone above your area. You can also press G to turn on Mega Impact mode, and it causes the 8 surrounding blocks to break around your target while mining. This is absolutely free. So how cool is that? Let's get some more light here, and I'll show you that again. Again, just press G, and it breaks blocks a lot more. So a great way to just run through and mine. But of course, it doesn't work on dirt. So that's the Dark Matter Hammer. Now, of course, all those tools are not completely free. It uses glowstone, redstone, energy from your Klein star. Pretty much you need some form of fuel in your inventory to fuel the special abilities that all your blocks have. So, for example, Let's grab ourselves another one of those dark matter pickaxes, shall we? There we go. And you can see at this point I've got some glowstone on me. Let's charge up our pickaxe and right click. That ability is free. Let's try with the dark matter hammer. And right click. You can see that it used some glowstone. So you'll have to experiment to determine the amount of fuel that you need to power each of your dark matter tools. Different abilities use different amounts of fuel, but there's a pretty standard amount. You can also find out that some abilities like that pickaxe automatically mining a vein of ore are free. So that wraps up the dark matter tools tutorial. They're very cool, they're a lot of fun, but as you can see they're definitely expensive to make, requiring a significant amount of diamonds and dark matter. If we circle back here, we can see our dark matter condenser during that whole tutorial time only really got up to about 17 dark matter, and a big amount of that was helped along by the relays here, which are now out of energy. As you saw in episode 1, you can place a piece of dark matter in a collector here, and it will slowly work its way up to red matter. I think in episode 1 you saw how it looked with a antimatter relay on the side, and it didn't take terribly long, but without that antimatter relay, it's a lot slower process. Keep in mind, antimatter relays require 7 dark matter blocks, so these guys really do speed things up a lot, but it really takes a long time to move stuff without them. So they're more an advanced version to help you along. Early on in the game, you're not going to be making stuff quite as easily as it looked like in the first video. And that's obviously for balance reasons. So why don't we skip ahead here and give ourselves some red matter, just so you can see the fact that there are actually now red matter tools. Ta-da! Red matter tools are really quite easy to make. You just use the same pattern that you would have for a normal piece of dark matter tool. However, you use dark matter in the bottom slot, your old tool in the top slot, and the red matter up here. So if we wanted to make a shovel, for example, it would be like this. Hooray! And let's do the pickaxe as well. What are the differences, you're going to ask? Well, pretty straightforward actually. First off, red matter tools are twice as efficient as dark matter tools. In other words, they use half the amount of fuel to do their special abilities. So that, of course, is a quick bonus. They're a little bit quicker than their dark matter equivalent, so when you're mining along, it's just a little bit quicker. But I mean, geez, how much quicker could we have gotten, right? They also have one extra charge level above their dark matter tools, except for the pickaxe, because it only has one charge level. That makes sense. So I think we had 4 charge levels for the original dark matter shovel. The red matter one has 5 charge levels, and now affects an even bigger area than it did before. And again, it uses less fuel, so you can see glowstones being subtracted here because I've been using the red matter tool. But it's using it much slower than it would have if it were dark matter. So red matter tools more efficient in terms of energy use. Very, very cool. You're going to want to check them all out. You should also note that there are dark matter armor that are pretty much next to invulnerable. It's pretty much the most amount of armor you can get, and you'll be almost completely protected from damage. There's also red matter armor that is not fully implemented in the game yet. There's no way to craft it at this time, but Xeno has posted saying that these abilities are, or these items are coming, and they're going to have some pretty cool abilities built into them. I think, different boots are going to have different abilities. You can see there's some placeholder items here for what's coming. So get ready and look forward to that, because that's going to be awesome. Before wrapping up this episode, there's 1 or 2 more quick things I want to show you. So let me get myself a couple of these guys. couple furnaces, alright, maybe a little bit more than a couple, and open up my crafting table. I can place down 4 pieces of dark matter and 4 furnaces and a philosopher's stone. Sorry, that's 4 dark matter blocks, not 4 pieces of dark matter. And you get a dark matter furnace. This guy is cool. Place him down, and you can see that you've got this input buffer over here, a slot for fuel, and the output area over here. Let's take a piece of fuel that you guys saw in episode 1, the Mobius fuel, and stick that in the furnace. And now, let's say we take some cobblestone. Look how quickly that cooks. Awesome. That guy's going to cook items very quickly, and you can see that you can stick a whole bunch of stuff over here in the buffer, and what's going to happen is it's going to quickly cook it all up and move it over here to the output buffer. So you can put a ton of items in at once and get a ton of items out. And by using Mobius fuel, the most efficient fuel source, you're going to get a lot of energy here, and you're going to pretty much not have to worry about what you got going on. So again, dark matter furnace, awesome way to cook your items, and very efficient when you use the higher grade fuel sources. You can probably cook all of these with 1 piece of Mobius fuel. The next items to show you here are called coalescence dust. You can see there's a couple different recipes for them. Your first standard recipe is with cobblestone and redstone. You'll get green coalescence dust. With coal and iron, you get the light blue coalescence dust. And with glowstone and diamond, you get dark blue coalescence dust. And these guys are used to repair your items. Before you get the dark matter tools, which never break, you can use these to repair your tiers of items. This guy will repair cobblestone versions of items, this guy will repair iron versions, and this guy will repair your diamond versions of tools. However, you can also use it to make a very nice item called the alchemical chest. The recipe for the alchemical chest is pretty straightforward. You just need some iron, a couple pieces of iron that is, 1 diamond, some smooth stone, and a regular chest. So we place it down like so. Here and here, diamond, low, medium, and high coalescence dust get you an alchemical chest. This item is great. Place it down on the ground, and look at how much storage you get. Tons of storage in a 1x1 area. Obviously it uses some diamonds to make, but the other awesome benefit of this is that the alchemical chests can sit right next to each other without having any issues. So let's grab ourselves another couple of these guys just to show that off. You can have an awesome line of them, and they don't have any problem sitting next to each other. Alright guys, and the very final item I'm going to show you here is the alchemical bag, or the alchemy bag. This is another extremely awesome item. Simply place your alchemical chest, 3 pieces of the diamond version of the coalescence dust, that's the highest tier, and then you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of the same color of wool, and you'll get the equivalent color alchemy bag. You're only going to want 1 of each color, but as you know, there's lots of colors, and you can get the whole set if you want. Let's see. Yeah, there's a ton of them. Alchemy bags are awesome. Simply place them on your hotbar and right-click, and you've got an alchemical chest in your hotbar. You can store whatever items you want in there, and then continue to work along in the world, and come back later and right-click to open them up. And each color bag has its own separate inventory. You'll also note that if you drop the bag, all my diamonds were in there, and get the same color back later on, your items are still in there. So it's kind of a safety hole. If you put items in there and maybe that bag burned up in lava, just make another green bag and the items that you had originally placed in there are still in there. So that's pretty cool. Again, that's the alchemy bag, a very nice item, and just a handy way to hang on to the items that you've got, especially when you go mining and have a ton of stuff going on. And certain items can work inside this bag, some of the power items that I'll get into in episode 3 of this spotlight. So this has been episode 2. I'm going to wrap it up now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch y'all later. Take it easy.